birthday to you.
Make a wish.
Granny.
Hello.
Have you done your homework?
Ada.
For a general strike.
Ready or not? Here it comes.
Violent clashes with
Live ammunition against...
Deserve to get shot.
Have a nice day at school.
airstrikes on rebel position.
We are going to stay.
What's happening?
Go.
Heavy fighting in Richmond.
Dad, where are we?
Rebel forces advance.
Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, darling.
You lie to the American people about the chemical attacks in Syria. The American people know that it was our government that is most likely responsible. There is strong evidence, including video, that these attacks were carried out by al-Qaeda. And you advocate starting a war, even maybe world war, by taking the same attack and blaming it on Assad.
Senator McCain crossed into Syria from Turkey, accompanied by the Free Syrian Army, the rebel faction he wants the U.S. to support with arms and a no-fly zone. Washington already supplies the Free Syrian Army with food and medicine. Bloodshed in Syria continues, and its neighbors slip back to sectarian violence.
Has being there, shaking these people's hands, looking them in the eye, being on Syrian soil, has it changed or intensified your feelings in any way?
It's intensified because this is a pretty bloody business that they've been in, and these are human beings that are trying to achieve the same thing that we have shed American blood and treasure for.
But why isn't Johnny Boy McCain disturbed over the slaughter of Syrian Christians by his beloved rebels, and their most recent massacre of the entire Christian population of the Al-Duvar village on the outskirts of Homs? Because McCain is joined at the hip with Jewish neocons who could care less about Christians. That's why. Lest we forget, McCain's prime enabler during the 2008 election was neocon Jew Senator Joe Lieberman. But today it's warmongering neocon Jew William Kristol, who appears to be McCain's new Commander-in-Chief.
I think it's fair to say that President Obama has put himself in a bit of a box here on Syria. He kept talking for months about red lines, enormous consequences, game changers, but he's clearly mindful of the bad intelligence that led into the invasion of Iraq. Is there a graceful way out for him now?
Well, I think the message is that he, as Amy and Britt said, this is not a president who wants to start another war. That's the way he sees it. I think it's totally irresponsible for an American president to have that. No one wants to start wars, but you've got to do what you've got to do. And it doesn't really matter if the public is at 39% or 60%. I mean, really?
My friends, the Alawite Assad regime has been in power for 40 years, and now all of a sudden America's interests are supposedly at stake in Syria? No way. It's Jewish interests that are at stake in Syria, not America's. The real plan remains the formation of so-called Greater Israel, which would extend from the Nile to the Euphrates, which would be so easily pursued with the creation of a fragmented, balkanized Syria, torn to bloody shreds by the competing U.S.-backed mercenaries, militias, and jihadis pouring into Syria around the clock. That is what the Jews are really after. Hezbollah has entered the fray for this very reason, and is warning that if Assad falls, then an Israeli invasion of what's left of Syria will be a walk in the park. This is not America's war. Let the Syrians decide their own future, not Jewish homicidal maniac shills like Johnny Boy McCain.